Yo, what is up? It is Skills, and in today's video, we're coming back at you with another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. So today, guys, this is going to be another translation video. Now, this is going to be actually on the units. So before, I did do a translation video on the main menu and extra things in the game to basically understand what's going on within, how to, get your way through the game itself. So with this video, we're actually going to be talking about, SSRs that basically are super good. So a lot of this, now this is an actual website that someone did create from the Discord, from one of the Discords for 7 Deadly Sins. Shout out to the man. I don't know who it was, honestly, but I'll link him if anything, if I can find it. So basically all these units right here are the top starters. So the way it works is that the speed is the blue, strength is the red, and then vitality is the green. And you have honorable mentions on what units are good. Now, so far with what I've seen, Meliodas right here is the second best unit in the game. So let's actually go to the characters again. Now, this is where, now, one thing is, the main unit right here, the #1 unit in the game right now, is this Meliodas. He is the demon for Meliodas. So we will talk about him first since he is the best unit. So he has his skills. His first skill is Purgatory Flames, which is inflicts 180% damage to a single target, ignites for 3 turns. So basically, he does a good amount of damage with his main attack. And then his other skill is going to be Hellfire Explosion, inflict 220% damage to a single target. And then his ultimate, so his ultimate is going to be the Hell, inflict 385% damage to a single target, apply weakness. So now this is a little weird based off of what these all technically mean, based off like ignite or weakness and stuff like that. But basically what you really want to know more is that how much damage he's really doing on here. Then his fate. Now fate is, that's what it's actually called. So it's not ultimate combination. That's what basically we're all saying it was, but it's actually called fate skill. So that's Devil Assault, which is with Merlin. Inflict 440% damage to a single target, apply weakness. And then passive. So each unit has their passive skills. This is one of it. So Rage. If an allied character doesn't attack this turn, increase their critical rate for the next attack by 50%. Max 1 stack. So it only does, what, 50% for one time, which is really nice for, having a unit that can crit, and crits do a lot of damage. So that's the Meliodas right there. If we go to the second Meliodas, the Wild Hellfire is his skill. Inflict 240% damage to a single target. Full counter, which is a skill which is really good because he can take a counter attack stance. So if an enemy attacks you, you will deflect the actual attack and do 100% damage based on missing HP. So you're gonna do a good amount of crits, and the damage right there, 100% fold right back to him. So right back to your enemy, so you're good. Ultimate, Thousand Cuts of God. Cleanse an enemy target's buffs and stance changes. Inflict 490% damage to a single target and stun for 1 turn, which is really, really good because stunning actually helps a lot. So then Metal Clash. This is with Diane. So cleanse an enemy target's buff and stance changes. Inflict 560% damage to a single target and stun for 1 turn, which is still really good. And his passive is All or Nothing. The less HP this unit has, the more likely it is to land a critical hit, which is really good because you want crits to happen. So basically, so far those 2 units right there. Now I'm going to talk about the main units that are super good. So like Bond, these Bonds are really good. So the Bond itself is just really good with attacking. He does 200% damage to an enemy with his normal attack. He has an actual other attack that inflicts 180% to an enemy, but it reduces a target's attack by 20% for 1 turn, which is good. That can actually be good for units that need to be buffed down, debuffed and stuff like that. Then you have Body Hunt. His ultimate inflicts 630% damage to an enemy, reduce their ultimate gauge by 3. That's actually super good. Personally, I think that's actually one of the best. Body Hunt, of course, is Fox Hunt, whatever you want to call it. Then Drain Spot with King. Inflicts 720% damage to an enemy, reduce their ultimate gauge by 3. So whenever you have ultimate gauges that reduce by 1, 2, 3, that's actually good because then you can at least stop your enemy from attacking with their ultimate really, really soon. So Power Snatch, that's his passive right there. So if this unit wasn't attacked this turn, decrease the opposing team's attack stat by 15%. This stacks up to 5 times. Stacks reset if hit. So if it can do up to 5 times before he gets hit and it resets and redoes that again, you're going to be basically taking all their team attack stats from them. So that's actually really good. Now let's actually talk about the king. So this king is the one that you can summon. This is going to be the first configuration Bumblebee. Now this unit itself, with his ultimate and fate, he is going to be an AoE unit. So right here is going to say the first configuration Bumblebee. Inflicts 160% damage or percent to a single target and applies fatal. Then you have Toxic Garden. Inflict 160% to a single target, apply fatal. Fourth configuration Sunfire. Inflict 420% damage to all enemies, apply crushing, which is with his ultimate. Crossfire, which is his fate, which is Diane with him. Inflict 480% damage to all enemies, apply crushing. So now that's not too sure what the crushing part means, but that's still, you know, pretty good for damage wise. And his passive is that it's called Magic Control. For each bar in the ultimate move gauge, increase critical hit chance by 10%. So if you have 4, there's up to 5. So if you have 4, you're going to do 40%. If you have 5, 50% chance of getting critical hit, which is really good in my opinion. So let's check out the Diane as well. This Diane's actually really good. This one specifically is super good. So this one, she's going to have 1,000 Pebbles, which is her skill. Inflicts 220% damage to a single target. Brigade Sword of the Earth, inflict 100% damage to all enemies. So she is an AoE unit. Roar of the Earth for her ultimate. Inflict 525% damage to all enemies. AoE unit, like I said. Fate, Full Swing Impact. Inflicts 600 damage to all enemies. Like I said, you're going to be doing a lot of damage with this unit if you have her. Passive. This is actually a really good passive. So Magic of the Giants. Each turn, increase own attack by 6%. Max to 30%, which is actually super good for her to stack her attack. So you know, she's at 484 attack, and I think that's her base. So like if you level it up all the way, you know, level 60 or level 50 and then awaken to you're gonna be doing a lot more damage for sure. So those mainly are the good units in the game already. You also have like the Merlin. Merlin's actually very destructive for sure. So her skill is Dark Erosion. She does inflict 120% damage to a single enemy and reduces its ultimate gauge by 1. That helps out so much because this ultimate gauge is going to be you know, helpful on removing your enemies just because, you know, if you're about to get supered, this would help out so they don't super you the next turn. Perfect Q, which is the other skill she has, produces a shield of 150% offensive power on all allies for 2 turns. Give this to Meliodas, and Meliodas will be doing insane numbers for attack. So that's actually really good for a skill. Light of Destruction. So basically she's going to be insane. So ultimate is that's what it's called. Inflict 540% damage to a single enemy and seal attack skills for 2 turns. So basically, if you're going to attack an actual you know, enemy, they're going to get their attack skills, which are like these right here, the Dark Erosion, for example. Those would be sealed for the enemy you attack. So that's actually super good. So you can actually evade attacks for 2 turns. Then her passive. Various samples. At the start of the battle, the ultimate gauge of all allies is increased by 1. So already off the start of right off the bat, you have 1 extra ultimate gauge, which is nice. Now Gowther. Gowther is going to be an AoE unit. I'm not sure. You know, if any of you guys have pulled him by now. If you guys did, great. So this unit right here is the skill is Arrow of Memory. Inflict 120% damage to all enemies, all enemies, for the first attack. The extra skill, Arrow of Erosion. Rank up the skills of 1 ally. So basically, if you have a star, like a star 1 or level 1, I guess, and you want to get it to level 2 or level 3, that would help out for one of your units. So that's actually good. Then ultimate, Memory of the Lid. Inflict 350% damage to all enemies and reduces the ultimate gauge by 3. Nice. Holy Barista, which is the fate with King. Inflict 400% damage to all enemies and reduces the ultimate gauge by 5. And then his passive, Trick. If you don't take damage to all your allies, damage increases by 10% at the start of next turn, up to 5 times, resets when damaged. Which is really good, honestly. That helps a lot for being a support unit and hitting really good numbers for sure. So honestly, those are the main units that you really are going to worry about if you have them, because those are honestly the best units so far in the game as a top tier listing. You know, these are the main 3. These are the main three basically, and then these are honorable mentions for it. So, you know, Hauser, he's an AoE unit as well. Inflicts 100% damage to all enemies, 100% to all enemies, 350% to all enemies. Ranks down in enemy skills. Also reduces enemy ultimate gauge by the number of skills lowered. So that's pretty decent. Now, him and Gowther inflict 400% damage to all enemies. Ranks down enemy skills. Also reduces enemy ultimate gauge by the number of skills lowered. So you're going to be very useful for units that are enemies that are going to be about to supering you. This would help out a lot. So very understandable on that. If you guys do have any kind of questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely help out as much as I can. And then one more thing, passive leaders instruments increases all base stats of ally humans by 8%. So basically like Gowther and like you know, Guria more and stuff like that. So that's gonna honestly do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy and you understood everything, let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and drop a like onto the video. If you guys want to see more of this, I would definitely go ahead and try to get it out to translate more. If you guys want to use this website, I will leave it in the description below to help you guys, so you can go ahead and continue on understanding the game yourself too. But I will of course continue making these kind of videos and more tips and tricks, etc., to get you know, more familiar with the game itself for everyone and myself too. So that's gonna do it for the video guys. If you guys did enjoy, of course, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. If you guys want to go ahead and see more of 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, make sure to hit that bell button to get notified on when these videos drop. So definitely gonna see a lot more of this onto the channel, so make sure to stick around. So that's gonna do it for today's video guys. Have a great day and peace.